suggests that I put out on my channel just the other day. It seems a lot of you want me to continue on with the adventure game book Island of the Lizard King. So I'm doing just that. This is part 3 of Island of the Lizard King, and hopefully today we will be triumphant in killing that Lizard King. Just very quickly, I've added a couple of things on the screen here just to take away the blandness of just the book. And it's my rock salt lamp here, which is colour changing, and a nice candle. Okay, without further ado, let's dive straight back in. So I had 2 responses last week about what we should do, and that was from Drake Leg at the Farty McFart Sauce, great name by the way, and Fuzzred, both great subscribers, and thank you for letting me know what you thought. But both decided that we should go down the hole, this hole here, and see what is down there. Very brave guys. But yeah, as you suggest, let's do that. It is so dark inside the borehole that you cannot see your hand in front of your face. If you still wish to crawl down it, turn to 34. If you are having second thoughts and would rather back out and carry on down the tunnel past the handcart, we've already decided that we are going to go down the hole. So let's continue on. You carry on crawling down the hole, but decide it is leading nowhere. There is not much room to turn, and you have to tuck your head between your legs and flip over. You scramble back down the borehole and were relieved to reach the main tunnel. However, when you flipped over in the borehole, something fell out of your backpack. Deduct 1 item from your equipment list and lose 1 luck point. That's unfortunate. Now I can't remember what we were holding. I have started keeping an inventory, but for the sake of the game, let's just keep going. Since we've cheated with everything else, it's all about the story, right? You clamber out of the borehole and turn left down the tunnel, so that was a big waste of time. Thanks guys. Only joking, by the way. It's all good. The tunnel comes to an end at a junction. Do you wish to turn left or right? Okay, let's turn right. The floor of the tunnel is strewn with rocks the size of coconuts. They are all surprisingly smooth. Some appear to be moving slightly, but you suspect it could be the dim light tricking your eyes. Then suddenly one uncurls and shoots forward on tiny legs towards you, and you feel a sharp pain in your leg, as though teeth are tearing at your flesh. Lose 1 stamina point. You realize with horror that you are being surrounded by granits, vicious armadillo-like man-eaters. If you have been bitten by a rattlesnake, turn to 207. If you haven't, turn to 25. I don't remember being bitten by a rattlesnake, so that's a no from us. 3 more granits uncurl themselves and shoot forward to bite your legs. You manage are going to turn straight to page 85 because we've beat the granites. As 3 of the other granites run at you, you try to cleave their bony shells before they sink their teeth into your leg. Roll a die. If you turn to 1 or 2, turn to 60. If you roll a 3 or a 4, turn to 239. If you roll a 5 or a 6, turn to 112. Okay, let's just take a wild guess. Let's turn to 112. You manage to stop 2 of the quick moving granites, but must fight the remaining one. Turn to 192. You decide to walk down the tunnel, but soon you arrive at a dead end. You have no option but to turn round and go back to the junction. Back at the junction, you may either turn left or continue straight down the tunnel. Let's continue straight down the tunnel. Hopefully no more granites. This section of the tunnel looks like it has been disused for a long time. The beams supporting the ceiling are cracked and look unsafe. You arrive at the edge of a vertical downward shaft, not far beyond which the tunnel ends. There is no ladder running down its side for you to descend. If you're wearing red leather boots, or if you've not found these boots, we haven't found these boots to my knowledge. I don't ever remember owning a pair of red leather boots, so we will say no to that. Apart from jumping, there is no way down the vertical shaft. You decide not to risk it and walk back to the junction. It's a lot of kind of walking around here, isn't it? At the junction, you may either continue to straight on or turn right. We'll go straight on. Is that not where we've just been? The floor of the tunnel is strewn with rocks the size of coconuts. They are all surprisingly smooth. We've gone back in a circle. It's the granites again. Okay, so we just seem to be going round in a circle now. So we're going to beat the granites again. Yeah, we'll again get attacked by more granites, and we're going to roll a 5 or a 6. And fight the remaining one. I'm going to turn to 192. You decide to walk down the tunnel, but soon arrive at a dead end. You have no option but to turn around and walk back to the junction. Do you want to turn left or continue straight down the tunnel? So if we go straight down the tunnel, we're going to end sheer drop and we don't have the boots, so we'll have to turn left. 361. You arrive back at the borehole where the unfortunate dwarf still lies beside his handcart. If you now wish to climb down the borehole, turn to 298. If you'd rather walk past it, or we've already been down the borehole and there was nothing there, so we will continue past it. As you walk down the main tunnel, you pass a branch to your right and the entrance tunnel to your left. You come to the edge of a vertical downward shaft to the side, which is secured a wooden ladder. You look down the shaft and although you cannot see the bottom, you decide to climb down. So finally we're actually doing something else. It always seems like there's a monster round every corner. Was that 315? Yes, it was. Stepping carefully down the ladder, you eventually reach the bottom of the shaft. In the dim light, you see a new tunnel from which you hear the faint sound of singing. As you walk down the tunnel, the singing grows louder, and you also hear the sound of stone being hammered. Suddenly you hear footsteps behind you. Shall we hide in the shadows? Or shall we turn to face who is approaching? Well, I say we hide in the shadows because there could be numerous lizard men, I'm imagining. So I opt to hide in the shadows, just to gaze at what is happening. You crouch down in the darkest recess that you can find in the wall. The footsteps draw nearer, and you see a lizard man carrying an iron pail. It walks past without noticing you, complaining to itself about the weight of the pail. You follow it down the tunnel to a safe distance. If you have drunk the potion of clumsiness, turn to 154. If you have not drunk this potion, turn to 184. Or we have not drunk this potion of clumsiness, so we turn to 184. You stumble over a stone on the floor but manage to stop yourself from falling and making any noise. Add 1 luck point. You breathe a sigh of relief and continue to follow the lizard man. Turn to 51. The noise of singing voices and iron hitting rock is quite loud. You must be close to where the slaves are working. You decide to run quietly behind the lizard man and deal with it. You pick up a large stone and run forward. The lizard man hears you, but it's too late to stop you from bringing the stone down hard on the back of its head. As it crashes to the floor, you catch its pail, thinking it might contain some much-needed water for the thirsty slaves. You walk until the tunnel opens up into a chamber. Turn to 223. Oh wow, look at this. Dramatic scene. What you see inside the chamber fills you with rage. 6 dwarfs stripped to the waist and chained together like animals are toiling with hammers at a rock face. An armoured lizard man urges them to work faster, occasionally lashing one of them across the back with its bullwhip. You put the pail down and run forward to attack the lizard man. And look at that whip in the air. These poor guys having to work. If you're still alive after 2 attack rounds turn to 3, well, we are. The dwarves, suddenly encouraged by the possibility of freedom, turn to help you slay the guard with their hammers. The lizard man falls to the ground beneath a barrage of blows and the dwarves begin to cheer. They smash open their shackles and gather round you to thank you and to quench their thirst with the water from the pail. You tell them of your quest to kill the Lizard King and they offer to help. You ask them where the other prisoners are and hear that they are working in other chambers deeper in the mine. You tell the dwarves to lead you to where they are as quickly as possible. Turn to 141. 161, sorry. Taking the lizard man's cloak to disguise yourself, you form the dwarves into a line so they appear that you are a guard in charge of a chain gang of slaves. You crack the whip with a smile and set off down the tunnel. You follow the dwarves down endless tunnels, deeper and deeper into the mine. As you pass the other tunnel branch, you see a lizard man walking along it towards you. Test your luck. Well, we're always lucky, so I might as well continue with our streak. The approaching lizard man is not suspicious of you and your gang of dwarves, and you pass by without any trouble. Turn to 114. The dwarves walk quickly through the tunnels. Their knowledge of the complex network acquired through months of slavery. They finally come to a halt, and one of them whispers to you that yet another group of prisoners is working around the next bend. You hear the dull sounds of picks and hammers hitting rock and tell the dwarves that they should walk on and that you will signal to them the moment they should attack the prisoners' guards. They walk around the bend and you see a group of men and elves chained together working on a rock face. 2 orc guards are yelling at them to work faster. They look surprised to see you, but they do not see you through your disguise until you are almost upon them. They scream a battle cry and draw their swords. Test your luck. And I'm feeling lucky yet again. The dwarves attack the orcs, spurred on by their hatred, and the fight is soon over, and the orcs, being no match for the embittered dwarves, turn to 1-2-1. The elves and the men cheer when the second orc is slain. The dwarves break their chains, and now you have 14 friends to help you finish your quest. One of them is from Oyster Bay, and despite his joy at the prospect of freedom, he is saddened at the news of Mungo's death. Ah, poor Mungo, we forgot all about Mungo. Armed with their own tools of slavery, the prisoners ask you to lead them to attack the stone fort used as the prison camp, where the Lizard King still resides, protected by his mutant slaves and elite guards. You agree to do so and set off through the tunnels to release the rest of the slave miners. Roll 1 die. Let's get a 6. By the time you have found all the prisoners and released them, you become leader of 63 dedicated followers, eager for revenge. Turn to 201. Well, it sounds like we have a right army. Who can get in the way of us now? This is a long one. You lead your band of fighters out of the mines and attack the mud huts where the guards live. The last of them is soon slain, and former prisoners begin to celebrate by cheering and singing. An old dwarf begins a jig and is soon circled by clapping, happy audience. For the moment, all the sufferings and troubles are forgotten. While everybody is still reveling in their freedom, an elf comes up to you and asks to speak to you alone. You walk away from the others and listen to what the elf has to say. With a worried expression on his face, he tells you that an attack on the Lizard King's fort would be suicidal. For the sake of power and near immortality, the Lizard King has followed a hideous parasite, Gongchong, to attach itself to his head. With the Gongchong's proboscis planted firmly in his brain, the Lizard King remains invincible, telepathically controlling his mutant warriors. To kill the Lizard King, the Gongchong must be destroyed. But only the island's shaman knows the secret of its magical powers. It cannot be harmed without the knowledge of how to break the link with its host. Alas, the elf has never seen the shaman in his 4 years on the island. Shamans lead solitary lives, away from the other natives, practicing their elemental craft. You thank the elf for his information and walk back to the others, raising your arms to silence them. You explain about the Gongchong and tell them that you are going to find the shaman alone. It will be impossible to track him down as a group. You tell them to make their own way to the fort, and that you will meet them there to lead the attack in 1 or 2 days' time. Now they reluctantly agree to the plan, and you set off immediately to find the shaman. Just when I thought it might be getting towards the end and we would be successful, there's another twist. So we need to find the shaman and kill this Gongchong thing